Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. And you are welcome, everyone. Welcome to this week's Doctor Who show. We've got dancing girls, we've got people throwing fireworks. We have got none of that. It's just me, I'm afraid. So you're just going to have to put up with me or go away. But I'd rather you didn't go away. So welcome. So what have I got for you on this week's Doctor Who show? I want to talk about who really drove former Doctor Who Pia Davison off of Twitter. We'll talk about that shortly. I will tell you how I will fix Doctor Who by bringing David Tennant back as the Doctor. Not doing a prequel, but going to the next regeneration. I'll explain all of that to you on today's show. First of all, I've been stewing on this for a very long time. Pia Davison was driven off of Twitter when he said that he wasn't exactly over the moon that Jodie Whittaker or a female had been cast as the Doctor. He talked about who would young boys look up to. Now at the time, and I never said anything to him on Twitter, I didn't get involved with that, but I felt at the time it was a bit of a silly thing to say in a way, because boys can still look up to a woman, can't they? But it was his opinion, it was his right to say it. But it wasn't Doctor Who fans who went at him. It was SJWs. The same SJWs that keep on telling us that we're the problem, that we're toxic males, right? When they're the ones who drove a nice guy, he's a really nice guy, everyone says it, right? Away from Twitter, a former Doctor who goes to conventions, who's great with fans, right? Very respectful, very polite, and they drove him off of Twitter. That's what SJWs do, I'm afraid, and that's all I've got to say about that. But the main point of today, because I haven't got any news for you or anything like that, but the main point of today really is to talk about how do we save this car crash that is Doctor Who. First of all, the fandom is never going to wholeheartedly accept Whittaker as the Doctor or a female as the Doctor. Let's be honest, you can call me sexist if you want, I don't care. The fandom are never going to accept it. You're just causing a problem, right? The best thing to do, right, is create a Doctor Who female spin-off. How do you do that? Bring back Jenny, the Doctor's daughter, give her her own show. The actor who, of course, is married to David Tennant would, this would be perfect, right? Young girls and women would love her. She'd be she could do stuff that maybe the Doctor can't do. She'd be different. She'd be travelling around as well. They could bump into each other. So where would this leave the actual Doctor? By doing that, by having a female spin-off, you get rid of the elephant of the room. Should there be a female Doctor? Well, we've had one, and it just hasn't worked. Not only is it divisive, it doesn't work. It's as simple as that, right? It doesn't work for the fandom. You're not making money, BBC. So you've got to end this mess. So how do you bring love and positivity back to Doctor Who? You bring back the most popular Doctor right now, which is David Tennant. But how do we do that? Well, of course, Russell T Davies was really clever, and he found a way. He left when a villain's about to win, but the hero just leaves a little option for him or herself, right? So they can win the day. This is what Russell T Davies did, because we all know out there right now, with Rose Tyler, there is a half-human Doctor. Because at the end of David Tennant's run, and not the total end because he did the specials, but at the end of season 4, there was a human meta-crisis Doctor. Basically, it was half Donna Noble, and then David's Doctor split up and he was half human. So what happened was he stayed on Bad Wolf Bay with Rose. So right now they're having adventures out there. So how does this work? Well, there's two things you could do, of course. You could have a half-human meta-crisis Doctor spin-off. The problem is everyone's going to watch that because it's David and no one's going to watch the main show. So you can't do that. So you have to make the half-human meta-crisis Doctor the main Doctor. So how do you actually do that? Easy. You come up with some gibberish. You contrive a situation where they merge together. You have a regeneration, and it's the Doctor. It's David Tennant as the Doctor, right? So you don't really have to explain it that well, do you? All you have to do, they merge together, there's a regeneration energy, and it's David's Doctor. He's back, right? And you explain it by saying, he merged, and that's why it's David. So Tennant would be back with all his memories. It would be him. The Doctor always remembers what he's done via other regenerations anyway. And so it really wouldn't be a big deal. I'm sure some people wouldn't be happy about it, but I think mostly people will be very excited and relieved to have David Tennant back as the Doctor. And the sweetener, of course, is to have his good wife as the Doctor's daughter in her own adventures. They meet up in the middle sometimes, they have crossovers, and we can create kind of a Doctor Who universe like Russell T Davies did in his original run. I think it's a great way forward. I think it's not that unplausible. You've got David's half-human Doctor out there. You can contrive a situation. Why not do it? I think the show and the fans deserve to be excited again, because right now they're not excited. Oh, what have we got this week? Jodie Whittaker and Mandy Gill saying how in love they are. And even if they didn't get the job, they still would have been friends. It's all bullshit, people, because what they're trying to do is get these little shippers happy by hinting at all the time at maybe a relationship between Yaz and the Doctor. How far are the BBC going to allow this to go? It's nonsense. This isn't Doctor Who. As I say, you can call me a sexist or whatever you want, but the truth is, this isn't a great business model. You want a sci-fi character having a relationship with another woman, you create a brand new one and leave Doctor Who alone. Stop it. Create great Doctor Who and stop virtue signalling, because it's boring. Doctor Who Season 11 is boring. Jodie Whittaker's Doctor is an undeveloped, unfleshed out, boring Doctor. We all know that. So let's bring back David Tennant. Let's have his good wife as Jenny. Let's have some good adventures. Let's have 2 Doctor Who shows out there like we used to. We used to have more than that when Doctor Who was at its prime. Look, Russell T Davies came up with a great idea to bring back Doctor Who. And for all we knew, it could have tanked. Because when Doctor Who ended all those years ago, before Russell brought it back, it wasn't the most popular show anyway. So people could have just said, you know what, I'm not interested. But people were interested because of the emotional way Russell T Davies did Doctor Who. And this is how it works. So let's bring David Tennant back. Am I saying David Tennant's interested? I don't know. But having his wife in a Doctor Who spin-off, being this all-new female hero, would be awesome. An all-new female hero in the Doctor Who verse, right, who isn't the Doctor. The Doctor's a man. That's cool. That isn't sexism. It's just the way it is. You want to create more female leads, you create new original ones instead of bastardizing other fandoms and other shows and other IPs. It never works. It just ends in tears. You can't win it. You create a culture war. A culture war cannot be won by anyone, as I said on my Captain Marvel video the other day. So the best thing is now, do something that excites the fans. Bringing back David Tennant as the Doctor excites the fans. It excites everyone. It puts butts on seats, and we can make Doctor Who a big deal again. We cannot. One thing we can't do is carry on with the fandom split, with accusations being made from one set of fans to the other. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That just kills Doctor Who a little more each day. And Doctor Who can't die. He can't. Yeah, I'm going to call him a he from now on. I used to be fair, say he or she, but no. The Doctor's a he. And we want David Tennant back as the Doctor and I've explained to you, BBC, who is going to run this thing, right? I've explained to you how to do this. You can make a successful show. You can bring it back to the glory days of Russell T Davies. But you need someone running it who cares, who loves about Doctor Who, and who has the talent to put this thing back together again. Because Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. And all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. That's exactly what's happened to Doctor Who. And it needs fixing. Let's just say we look at Ghostbusters. Jason Reitman's been tasked with making a brand new movie, bringing back the original actors, having these younger guys coming to take over. That could be very exciting for the franchise. And of course there'll be females there. It just won't be all female. That was the mistake with Ghostbusters 2016. It was all female. It should have been partly female. But they don't want to do that because they don't want real gender equality. They want women to have it all and men to have nothing because they want revenge on men for what they did back in the caveman days, right? Two wrongs don't make a right. So we get the Doctor back to being a man. We create a spin-off with Jenny, the Doctor's daughter, starring David Tennant's wife. Everyone's happy. It's a great sweetener for David. And we can have a great Doctor Who franchise again. We can. You just have to believe it.